Hey now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and this is my 31 days of horror movie reviews. And another movie that just kind of crept up on me, so I decided to add it to this horror themed month. VHS 85, I think that's what we're on now. There's been so many VHS movies, and in fact, this is now like a Shudder exclusive. So I don't even know how many people are aware of it or have watched it, but I decided to watch it, and I will say this: I didn't love this movie, but I think it was slightly better than the last couple of VHS films. What was the last one? VHS 99. Then there was a VHS 94, I think, before that. So, look, some of these stories, some of these one offs, you can tell are least interesting or least creative compared to some of the others, but because there were a couple of them that I thought was interesting, like for example, the very first one, I titled it No Swimming, because you follow this group of young people who are going out and they're going to just party and have fun and whatnot. And they go out into this lake that has a sign that says no swimming. So you know some bad shit's gonna go down. And then they get shot the fuck up. Like, you don't know by who or why or what, but they all die. And it's very quickly, it was almost off-putting of like, wow, that was kind of a little too fast, maybe underwhelming. And then they all just wake up. Even though they're clearly dead or should be dead, they wake up. One of the characters has brain fucking matter coming out of their head. Another one, her jaw is barely hanging on because, again, they got shot the fuck up. But they're alive now, and they're sort of trying to figure out how did this happen, what happened, who did this to them. And I thought, man, I have so many questions, so many things that I want to get to the bottom of. And if the movie was more about this or all about that one story, I think we would have had a home run. We cut to a story that I don't know if it's in Spain, but the characters are definitely speaking Spanish, and we follow these news reporters, and during their report, an earthquake happens, and it's really bad. A lot of characters die, and we follow the remaining survivors as they go through, and this one I thought was lame. This one is an example of what I don't care for with the VHS type things is a lot of the horror tropes that I see, especially the ones that I don't like in horror currently, is a lot about oh, it's this crazy religious cult, or oh, it's this demon, or the devil, or this god that's coming down and gonna cause destruction. Because it's so powerful, and because there's clearly no way to combat this or compete with this, I don't feel any real tension. I don't feel any real urgency of like, holy crap, how are our characters going to make it out? I can kind of presume that they're all going to die. Also, this one especially happened so fast, like the events happened so fast that I didn't feel connected to any of the characters. So when they started to get killed off, I just thought, all right, can we move on? The third story, I'm going to call this the god of technology. You have this lady on stage, and she's speaking to like 6 people in this audience, but they're recording her, and she's rambling and spouting about, oh, you people and your love and worship of technology. Mind you, this is 1985. Maybe you could make this more interesting if it took place today, because we are obsessed with technology. But 85, were people all that obsessed with technology? Was that really this big crave? Maybe it was. I wasn't even alive yet. But you see her put on this fucking glove thing, and she puts on this virtual pre-Matrix helmet, and she's going through and she's searching and calling out for this god of technology. And then there's a screen that looks cheap as fuck. I mean, it's the 80s, so it's supposed to. And this horrible animated CGI god just kills her. And it was so goofy and laughable, but not, I wasn't really laughing. I just mean looking at it. It was the worst, I think, part of this movie. I don't know why that was included, especially when this movie was damn near 2 hours long, and I felt like, especially that story, you could have cut out to make this a nice, breezy hour and a half. The next one connects back to the first story, which is probably why I got into it, because there is this Roman numeral 7 symbol that was on the RV of the story in the first film, and you see this family of fucked up killers, like crazy killer people. And instead of celebrating like a sweet 16 or a bar mitzvah or something, no, this 15-year-old girl is celebrating her first kill, like killing people, and she recorded it and she's showing it to her family, and they're all celebrating her. Like, it's fucked up. And you see that she was the one that was shooting and killed the characters in the first one. And I thought, that's fucking cool. Make the whole movie about that specifically, please. I will watch it and I will enjoy it. Now, the next story ends up being my favorite of the bunch, and that shouldn't be a surprise, because after the fact I saw in the credits that this was written by Scott Derrickson and C. Robert Cargill, who have done plenty of other horror films like Sinister and Black Phone, horror movies that I enjoyed but were disturbing as fuck. Now, maybe I shouldn't spoil this one in particular because I did like it. I know I've just kind of been rambling and spoiling everything, especially if you haven't seen it. If you don't mind that, thanks for sticking around. But I'll just say this. This particular story was, this home invader was going into houses and committing horrific kills. And I will say it was a little too violent, a little too gory. I'm talking about like eyes gouged out and what, like, I could have done, maybe pull back on that. But the concept of how these videotapes of the murders were arriving at the police station 2 or 3 days before the murders happened, it was this weird mystery type deal, and I enjoyed the fuck out of that. Like, the concept of it. Again, a movie just specifically about this, I would watch, and I would probably enjoy it. Now, just like every other VHS film that you've probably ever seen, there's always a wraparound story, like things that happen in between each short film that are supposed to connect together, or maybe just have a bookend to it. This one was just a bunch of scientists working on some weird creature, like they were trying to, I don't know if they were trying to clone somebody or some said shit, but they created a monster, and I don't know, it was whatever, you know, it wasn't the worst thing on here, because there were a couple other really bad ones, but I thought, whatever. It was creepy in a sense, but not nearly the strongest thing on here. So, overall, decent. So guys, let me know in the comments below if you too saw VHS 85. What did you think of it? If you haven't seen it and I spoiled it all for you, I apologize. Hopefully you don't mind. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later! Souls taken over by a devilish path. You got me walking on broken glass. Kicking down the door with a Jason mask, with a dead dumb machete, but you motherfuckers know it's heavy. Anytime you're ready, you can get you with a Bowie. Setting up to blow me, but the bitch don't know me. Who's going? I'm going. You know, I know that the man in the mirror is my next rival. Time goes and I never thought I'd live it so fast. Staring at the world from the end of my glass. Turned into a dark place, severed my brain. I done dropped out of class, but I